The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Outside Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
When the winds grow cold and it blows October, I think about us shoulder to shoulder. Like those cars, my thoughts go rolling over and over. Tonight, I'm in Talladega. Boys, raise the whiskey in your glass. Here's to turning up, slowing down, and the cars that go real fast. Thinking as the checkered flag waved, I was waving. Sure would like to stay in Talladega. Today, we give Eric Church his wish because we are at Talladega, which tonight, what time is it here, Sean? Is it day or night time here?
Yeah, it's the daytime here.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Which today plays host to the Aaron 199, round 7 of 10 in the We Stand United Cup Series chase. And all the Gen 6 action can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. This 10-minute streaming award-worthy pre-race show will count down to the green flag for the first of 75 laps of this stock car oval racing. So bring cyberspace into your place. Deep fry something. I'm going to recommend some pickles. Pour a cold glass of Grapico. My gosh, what is Grapico? But it hails from Alabama. If you're from Alabama, let me know what Grapico is. Pull the lever on your Lace Boy and get set for 199 miles of simulated NASCAR excitement that will be streaming your way. From the Yellowhammer State. That's right, the Yellowhammer State. Hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm me, Bill Soupzon. As usual, he's him, my partner, Sean Crackers Ambrose. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is the doctor of pit topology himself, Amjad Yaman. And at his disposal will be the visionary camera locations provided by the renowned Dougie Beard. Crackers. I think my 93-year-old mother-in-law could post a respectable qualifying lap here at Talladega. I know you disagree about that. We've got a small field and a big track. What does this place have in store for our drivers?
Plenty, Soup. Plenty. What a beautiful facility here, nestled in the Talladega Mountains. Beautiful rolling countryside. Right in the heart of Alabama, right off the interstate. Interstate 40 cuts right through the heart of the state. And, sir, been here for quite a while. They broke ground back in 1969, built by the Francis and the International Speedway Corporation. Big track, very big track. Biggest one on the NASCAR circuit, 2.66 miles, 33 degrees of high banking, 4 wide racing, certainly possible. Probably see it tonight. 4 turns. We could maybe even call it 5 with that big tri-oval there through the center. It is a wonderful, fast track. And listen, if you've been involved with sim racing for any amount of time, you've probably been to Talladega or Daytona, but not the same track at all. This track is wide open. It's very hot tonight, too. It's very hot on the track. They're going to be sliding all over the place for 75 laps of well over 200 miles an hour, Soup. And I really, I can't wait to get this started. This is a long track, but they get around here in a hurry. Drafting. We talk about the word drafting. You'll see plenty of it here tonight. Laps of just around 50 seconds, 49 seconds. 2.66 miles, Soup. Think about that. That is, when they're side by side, there's going to be all kinds of things to talk about tonight. Trust me, this 14-car field is going to get them hooked up, and we'll see a good pack running around here for quite a while.
You know, I may be showing my ignorance here, but I'm not sure there is a larger oval track anywhere on the globe. I would think that this might be it, certainly, at least on this planet. We're not sure what's going on Venus. Now, the last time GSRC covered this series was the 5th chase race from Charlotte, where 13 drivers took the green flag, with Derek Prater picking up his first WSU career win. Now, remember, the goal of any chaser is to be in the top 4 spots at the end of the chase. That way, he or she, well, it's not going to be a she because I would know that by now, would be eligible to for the winner to take part in the finale at Homestead. The top 4 drivers are going to be doing that. So here's the way that the chase points looked after the Charlotte race. Now, everybody held station except for Alex Skinner and Kenneth Reeder, who were swapping spots. Never say die. Dawson Brock doubled up his lead over Nick Parrott from 2 to 4 points above that cutoff line. Now, the series then went to Kansas, and unfortunately, scheduling conflicts prevented GSRC from being able to show Joshua Howland Wolf besting 8 other drivers to pick up his 5th win of the season and the 2nd in the chase. Now, if we look at those, if we have those directly, we can bring up that. There we go. The top 3 drivers all shuffled around, but remember, Wolf, Trevor Varun-Borowski, and Travis Henderson all look to be comfortably above the Mendoza line there. So their actually finishing order really doesn't matter whether they finish 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1, as long as they're in the chase. What is really important is this battle between Dawson Brock and Nick Parrott. Now, Dawson continues to increase his lead over Parrott. It's now up to 11 points. Reeder gained back that spot he lost to Skinner, but both those guys are going to have to pick it up if they want to get into the chase. Ryan Irby and Tad the Lone Granger are merely just placeholders on the overlay. Now, we've talked about the track, Sean. We talked about what's going on in the chase. Why don't we spend a little bit of time, let the viewers know what is in store rule-wise for this event.
Let's do it. This is the Gen 6 stock car. You've got the Chevrolet, the Ford, and the Toyota. Got a fixed setup here for the chase, and, well, we'll see what these boys have under the hood tonight, but more importantly, we'll see what they have under the helmet, because it's all about the driver this evening. 100% fuel, 75 laps. Gonna probably need at least 1 pit stop to get this thing done. Qualified's best of 2 flying laps. Solo effort around here. Again, 75 laps. That's 199 miles this evening, folks. Settle in for just a moment. No fast repairs. The big one will end your night. It'll certainly put you a lap down. And if you get a lap down here, I'll say it like I said before, 2.66 miles. It's a lot of ground to make up. Incident cap, there is none. We have to get a restart this evening. It'll be double file. Probably a good thing to be double file. You want to spread out just a bit here when you get restarted. The weather this evening, now that's something I've been watching, Sue. It's only 78 degrees and partly cloudy, but it's 103 degrees on track. That's a little greasy for my taste on this super speedway. I'm thinking these cars will be moving around a little bit. We may even see some drivers swatting flies in the cockpit this evening.
Well, we'll see I could easily see this one going green the whole way. We'll see how we've had these guys go green. Remember, Sean, we did one at a real similar facility, a super speedway in Daytona that went green wire to wire. So we might be able to see one of those here tonight. Looking at some of the names that are here, we see that Varosky is here and Henderson is here. Looking at the other chaser, we're missing one. There's Wolf. There's your top 3. Brock, of course, is here today. Now, here's a new name. Do you know anything about Tom Jenks, Sean? Is that a name familiar to you?
You know, I've seen Tom around. I've seen him before out there on the iRacing servers, maybe in some hosted sessions. I don't necessarily remember him from here, but if I've seen him in a hosted session, that means I probably did a super speedway with him at one time or another. I'm a fan of the super speedway, Soup. I've been sim racing since about 1999, and there was a time when Daytona and Talladega was about the only tracks you could really have any fun with a whole bunch of people on the track. So lots of hours logged at this facility, and I'm sure some of these guys have probably been doing the same here for quite some time. So a bit of a trick to getting around Talladega, and a bit of a trick to doing it in a pack.
Well, with qualifying done, it's time for us to take it down to the track side for a little announcement. So let's do that right now. And now, for the most famous words in sim racing, here is your Grand Marshal and principal owner of Mama Jean Racing, Jean Vivian.
Drivers, grid your race cars. Go, drivers.
And the qualifying is done. 14 drivers took the track to put in a qualifying time, and sure enough, we got 14 that were able to do it. So why don't we, while they start to grid up, thanks to the call from Mama Jean, we thank her for doing that again, traveling around with the circuit now to call the drivers to the grid. Sean, why don't we run down the starting over? Look on the front row there, a couple chasers that are comfortably in. That's Trevor Varun-Borowski and Travis Henderson, 1-2 up front.
All right, Tom Jenks with a good qualifying effort sitting there on the inside in third. Never Say Die, Dawson Brock there in fourth, Soup.
Cordell Colon, a veteran of this series, trying to make the chase, sitting in third. Thomas Vanassi in sixth.
All right, the inside of row 4 is going to be Nick Parrott. Just on his outside there, going to be Alan Westman in eighth.
Correct myself. Cologne in fifth, inside of row 3, the third row. In row 5, Kenneth Reeder, we talked about him swapping spots back and forth with Skinner. And hey, Hio Silver, the Lone Ranger, Tad Granger, back with us outside of row 5 and 10th. Welcome back.
All right, and then they're going to have Joshua Howell Wolf starting 11th this evening. Mark Goldstein going to start 12th.
And rounding out that final row, but certainly well within striking distance at this venue, is Brad Walsh and Derek Prater.
Soup, I've been to this track several times in person. Got to tell you, it's nothing like the roar of those engines winding up to full song about lap 2 as they come down that back stretch. I've stood on the inside of turn 3 there at the end of the stretch there, and it is it's quite a sight, man. Watching that full field of Cup cars come roaring down there at right at that point, lap 2, they're up to about 206, 207 miles an hour heading into 3. It's just it's quite a sight. It's a real rush.
I forgot to refresh my paint scheme, so I've done it. Looks like I see all the familiar colors out there today. Sean, I think this is the day. I'm going to stay neutral while I call the race, but I think this is the day that our friend Alan Westman picks up a victory in that number 12 machine. I think the size of the field in this type of track is going to really play into him. So I like Westman. Who do you like today if you had to make the pick?
Well, I like Lady Luck, Soup. That's who I like. I think she's a beautiful woman. And I think anybody that's got her riding on board with her is going to be your winner today. But if I'm gonna throw a name out there, let me go with Brad Walsh. I'll go with Brad Walsh, number 88.
Lady Luck's in for it to be a good chance to have one of the drivers that we see in the, I think the Pac Majors or the Audubon series, where it's Chance Kelly. I like that name for a driver. Sounds like a lucky name. Okay.
Sounds like a country artist.
It does. No number 13s out there, and I don't see any green cars. So I think everybody's got themselves pretty well set up as far as luck goes. Talking about colors of car, how about that beautiful gold Mustang there, shining in that Alabama sun? Coming down, getting ready to pull off into the pit lane. Going to turn over control of this field to the number 10 machine of Trevor Vroom-Borowski in that orange and blue Gulf machine. Being right up behind him, being pushed from the inside of row 2. My goodness, that's Tom Jenks giving a little help. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn, and Vroom-Borowski leads them down into corner number 1. On the outside, it's that 24 machine of Henderson. The newcomer Jenks on the inside drifted a little bit high. Keep that 69 machine tight in line. He starts to drift up really close to Henderson. Oh, the 69 looks wild.
Boy, oh boy.
You know who sees it? It's Cordell Colon in the 50.
Three wide on the backstretch already, heading into turn 3.
Oh, they got it. That's the 88 down low of Brad Walsh.
Tad Granger caught right up there in the middle.
Backing out of it is the 23 machine of Thomas Vanasse.
Yeah, he didn't want any part of that. He just kept it right up there in the nasty stuff up there on the high side.
Just to follow up what I was talking about Cologne, he had the newcomer of Tom Jenks in front of him, and Cologne saw him. Jenks was dancing up and down inside that first lane, and Cologne just backed right out of it, said, I don't want any part of this. Now they settle down into single file, except for a few cars in the back.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, not Tad Granger, but it is Tad Granger, I'm sorry, still stuck up on the high side. Dawson Brock just moved up to maybe give him a hand, but right in front of him, Dawson gets up into the high line just behind Wolf. Tad Granger hanging on, trying to make the high side work early.
Up on top, that's Dawson Brock in in the who's in the 15 machine? There we go. That's
Wolf.
That's
Joshua
Wolf up
Wolf
on
in the
top.
15.
Yeah, Wolf, and then followed by Brock, and then the 8 machine of Granger trying to make that high side work. And now coming up to the high side too is the 55 of Prater.
Yeah, Prater decided to step out and take a look at those boys. Hasn't quite lost. Oh boy, the 69 moved down. Jake's moving up the track in front of Wolf, and it gets back down inside. Here comes Wolf on the high side, getting some help from Dawson Brock.
Granger kind of ducking out there, kind of dove down into the middle lane there. Maybe wanted to cool off his engine. New leader now, Wolf. Ooh. Oh my goodness, drifting up high. This is a lot of racing early here. Boy, Bobrovsky had a lot of faith that Dawson was going to have room to slide up in front of. 2x2 up front. The 15 of Wolf on the outside, the 10 of Bobrovsky. Inside of them, Tom Jenks, and then Dawson Brock.
You can already see these cars moving around a lot. Even when they're, heading in a straight line, they're so close.
A lot of dancing. Sean, there's a lot of swapping for positions, but some of these cars are moving around a lot. Look at that. I'm worried about this 69 machine again of Jenks. Go ahead.
No, I was just watching Bobrovsky drop in line there with Tad Granger, and then they jump back up to the high side, trying to look for a run.
Now, if you've only picked up the series lately, you may not be familiar with the name Tad Granger. He's a veteran of the series. He had to step away later on in the back half of the season, but he knows what he's doing. Granger's certainly an experienced driver, even though you don't see him up in the points right now. Giving a little bit of a little bump there to the number 10 of Bobrovsky.
Now, the question is, if Bobrovsky can get in front of Wolf, will he drop down? Oh, they're making it 3 wide. Bobrovsky gets stuck in the middle. Heading into 3. Oh, that's a hornet's nest soup.
They're leaving him room. If they leave room, Bobrovsky is going to be in trouble, but I think everyone's going to be, does anyone give him any help? Nope. Bobrovsky trying to tuck down inside of Brock.
You're not clear.
Brock says, nope, not clear. Dawson says there's room behind me, but not really in front of me. Bobrovsky does not like where he's always think he made contact with the sun drop machine of Parrott. Maybe a little bit of a touch. Oh, and then Dawson Brock.
Yeah, he's having a connection problem.
And now Granger tucks back in behind. Boy, nothing worse than tucking inches behind a car that's having connection problem. They get it sorted out.
Wow. Jenks gets a little bit too much of the apron, slides up there, right door to door with Tad Granger. Oh, Parrott around to the outside. They're going to make it 3 wide again. Prater giving Granger that help. They're able to get away from Parrott. Here comes Cordell Cologne. Where did he come from?
Nice job from that 55 machine.
Prater got a great run, gave Tad a little bump, and then Tad goes right in front of Joshua Wolf. Derek Prater has had a connection issue and is gone. Just like that, out of the mix. Helped out Granger to get ahead and then disappeared. Granger kind of hung him out to dry, too, by dropping right in front of Wolf.
No kind deed goes unpunished. Just Prater having a great run. Yeah, I want to point something out. We're going to drop you back a little bit here. Let's drop back to, where is he running right now? We're looking for Alan Westman, running back there in 13th back. There's some drivers that are just sitting back here, minding their own business. Walsh, Vanass, Westman, and Goldstein. They can all get up there if they wanted to. Honestly, Sean, I'm not sure they're back far enough to really avoid an incident if it were to happen.
Cordell Cologne on the charge and dropped back just a bit. He's trying to get up to 4th. He's taking it away from Jenks.
Cologne in that number 50 machine. Running 4th in line. The big yellow 5-0 on the top. Right in front of the number 1 car of Kenneth Reeder. Now, while we talked about Dawson Brock being in the chase right now. It's only by 11 points. The good news is if you were to find trouble with a small field, it won't be quite as crushing. My goodness. Here comes the 69 machine on the outside.
Reader's stuck up there on the high side. I got to be honest, that car is just back and forth all over the track right now. He's having trouble settling in, handling that draft.
Reader, that's the number 1 machine. Out in front in kind of the middle lane right now. Pulls up just in front of Parrott's number 3, the Sundrop car. Yeah, look, Sean, I agree with you. The number 1 seems to be Reader just...
He's really having trouble.
Back and forth, yeah.
Yeah, he's having trouble hanging on to it. Tough to follow, tough to race next to.
Oh, there's the contact. Can he save it?
Wolf's around.
That's 15. That's Wolf. Can he gather it up? Yeah, he keeps it off the grass. And I think he might be able to gather it up and maybe stay in the draft. Nice job of driver from Joshua Wolf.
Boy, that was a great save by Joshua Wolf. Makes contact with Parrott. Let's go on board with Joshua Wolf here, Sue.
Yeah, I think Parrott came down into him, got into his right rear, and you can just see him turn, then he brings it back, and then he's sawing on the wheel. Talladega's nice to have a lot of asphalt down there for him to gather that up.
You know what? And that was key, having that asphalt to try and get some grip down there, and that got the car slowed. He was able to brake, and that helped him out tremendously. Able to save the car, but he's totally lost the draft. Granger losing the handle on it, climbing up the track in turn 2. Everybody getting by, Soup. They've got a freight train going on them.
I wonder if Granger's saying, I wonder if Tad maybe just going to drop back, pick up his friend now that there's somebody back there to run with. See if he goes back and maybe jumps back in there with Joshua Wolf.
Well, Kenneth Reader has found his way all the way to the front. He's come up 8 spots to do it.
Okay, so let's set the stage for you right now. Up on top, it's Reader, and now on the outside, the 69 car of Jenks. They're running 1-2. Right behind them is the 23 machine of Vanass. We haven't seen him up there. Then you have the 88 on the inside. That's Walsh. The 3 machine, that's Parrott on the high side. A little bump from Henderson. Oh, my goodness. Henderson gives a bump to Parrott. Parrott had nowhere to go but to move to the outside, and he's on his way 3 wide.
Oh, my.
3 wide, 2 deep.
Lap 12. Mark this one down. Oh, boy. Vanass almost gets into Henderson. 4 wide,
4 wide. So far, so good. They're talking about it. Trevor Borowski says you're 4 wide in case you didn't know. Now they get it sorted out. Borowski back in the 10 machine says, hey, do you guys know that you're 4 wide?
Jeez. Jenks and Vanass almost make contact right there.
And Sean, honestly, that seems a little bit silly to maybe people that aren't familiar with it, but if you're on the inside and somebody's kind enough to say you're 4 wide, yeah, that helps, because that means that you have absolutely no room to move up. Look at, oh, Jenks almost gets up into Borowski. Borowski all by himself up on the high side now. No room for the 10 machine to drop in there, but he doesn't need to as he picks up a little bit of help from the 88.
Well, Granger's got a dance partner back there, Soup. He's picked up Joshua Wolf. Those two working together, trying to get back to the field. They're 13 seconds back.
Let's go ahead and mark that 13 seconds here on lap number 14. So we'll see if those two guys working together can run them down.
A lot of fighting going on up here, but this draft is fast. It's going to be tough. We will keep an eye on their progress. Caution flag would certainly help them out, but man, Hate to see one. This action is great.
These guys are pretty good, but I can't think they can keep racing this way for another 60 laps. As they're working lap number 15 right now. Out in front, Trevor Borowski in that 10 machine. Brad Walsh behind him. Sundrop machine, number 3 in third.
Soup, if I was a betting man, I would bet on a caution. I'm going to be honest with you. I got my eyes on this field, and I see a couple possibilities out there for one right now.
Well, they might have got it out of their system right now. They seem to be settling down a little bit. They realized how fun it was. It's still a 11-car train all together. Then 2 cars back behind Wolf and Granger, and then Derek Prater, who had the connection problem, our only driver to leave. Now trying on the high side is the number 1 machine. See what happens.
Wide off the turn.
Reeder getting a little help from Cologne, and that's going to put your leader, well, you used to be your leader, Bobrovsky, back in the middle. Parrott dips inside the yellow line in that 3, trying to figure out maybe just leave a little extra space. Now it's Parrott on the inside, Bobrovsky in the middle, Cologne up top. They start to make a little bit of a move. They move up inside the number 1 machine now of Reeder. Your new leader, Brad Walsh, out in front. 3 wide behind him, 3 wide and 3 wide coming up on Brad Walsh. Thought they were settling down. I spoke too soon. Too much fun to be had.
Yes, you did. There are runs to be had. Bobrovsky up on the outside, getting some help from Jenks. Is he going to stay with his partner? Is he going to hang him out to dry? He drops down. Not enough room for Jenks to get in. Question is, will he slide back up here out of the turn? Nope, he's going to stick down there on the bottom. Jenks going to have to do it by himself with some help from Ken Reeder.
Leader across the lap that time, Tom Jenks.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I knew this pack was fast. Unfortunately, Wolf and Granger are losing time. They're about a second slower. Oh, Reeder up on the outside, getting around Jenks. Walsh there on the inside. I can't believe all 3 wide we're seeing so early in this race.
Jenks doing a good job of not trying to duck it down in front of the 3. Now there's room right here. Let's see if he tries to duck it in front of the 12 of Alan Westman. Good to see Westman up in the fight. He's been hanging back there.
Hey, that's the key to winning here at Talladega, is really just kind of hanging out for a little while and kind of let the game come to you a little bit. Let things settle down in front, then start picking them off one at a time.
Well, Sean, something that we didn't really address, because honestly I didn't think it would be a factor, are the pit stops. But we're working lap number 20, or going to be working here lap number 20 coming around this time. That could break up this pack when we go, oh my goodness, and there's Bobrovsky really being squeezed by the 1 car. My goodness, that was Reeder. He gave no room to the number 10, and he's doing it again.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, they are close. They bump and they bump and they bump. I'm not sure if they made contact, but boy, sure did felt like it.
I'm going to need an antacid.
Yeah. Bobrovsky hanging tight in the middle with no help. Now he gets pushed up a little bit.
Dawson Brock up in the wall, back behind.
He got a little bit of a bump from Cologne, I think.
No, net code, Sue. It was net code now. Yeah, it was. And then Brock, though, Cologne did get a little contact from the 14.
Oh, the number 3 machine almost got turned. It was by the 88.
Finesse almost up into Henderson right there.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, so I was going to say this earlier. We're at lap 20 now. Tires are a lot of heat in these tires now. The right rears are probably screaming. Your fuel load's lightening up. These cars are getting very twitchy soon.
All right, boys, everybody take a deep breath now.
No. You want to, but you can't.
It's been exciting, but so far so good, other than the little incident that took Joshua Wolf almost off the track and into the wall. We've been green the whole time for 21 laps.
Yeah, and even with Brock getting up there and catching some of the wall, he's still able to hang on to the draft. He's got just the tail end of it.
Yeah, Dawson running in 11th right now, trying to hang on to the back of Mark Goldstein. We haven't talked about Mark Goldstein much. He's back there running back there with Westman in the back the whole time. I believe both Westman and Goldstein could get up there and play around with the other reindeers if they wanted to, but right now they're happy back there.
All right,
here's
Dawson Brock's problem. He's starting to lose touch. He's got a little bit of damage on the right front from where he smacked the wall. And again, they're starting to pull away just a little bit. It's not a good situation here for him. He's got to try and keep up. But again, that damage on the right front could be hurting his chances there aero-wise. A little bit of damage down the right side as well.
10-car battle up front. They're 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Now they're going to try to make it 3 wide. Haven't heard much from him. Travis Henderson looking to take that 24 up on top. Going to get no help. I think that's not going to work for him. He falls back. He's going to keep it up in that high lane. Make sure he doesn't come in front of anybody. That's a veteran move. Just going to race it up there by the wall until he's sure he comes down. Letting the whole pack go by. Early days yet, right, Sean? Henderson knows.
Early days indeed, but that's a scary line to run up there around this track. It's just really no grip up there, Soup, and quite honestly, a lot of trash. It's just not a fun place to be, but the best, the truly good drivers can hang on. Henderson showing his worth there.
And if something goes wrong, there's a good chance they're going to come up and go up to the wall, and if they don't catch you going to the wall, they'll get you coming back off of the wall. So not a lot of room to negotiate up there. 2 by 2 by 2 up front. For us, the number 1 machine of Reeder on the inside, Bobrovsky on the high side, just a little bit out in front. Gets a little bit of help from the 69 of Jenks. Jenks seems to have found his way now. He's not quite as wobbly as he was in the early lap.
Yeah, no, the car has settled down a bit. Here at a point in the race when I really think the car is becoming more challenging to handle, he seems to really gotten a handle on it and settled in nicely. Same thing for Ken Reeder. That car doesn't seem to be moving around quite as much right now. Oh, and as I say that, he jumps right out in front of Jenks there. Wow.
Saw that 69 with a run, said, hey, I think I'd like to be part of that. I think I'd like to be part of it at the front of the line rather than the bottom. Look at this now. The Sundrop machine looking to go underneath. That's Barrett. Oh, for Bobrovsky, from all of a sudden he's in the lead. All of a sudden now he's in the middle. They go around him on the high side and the low side. Some good racing going on. Bobrovsky drops down into the yellow line now. And all of a sudden, what seemed like a good idea at the time, not such a good idea now for Tom Jenks. He's stuck on the high side, but now he gets a little help.
Yeah, no, Jenks sees what's in his mirror. He still sees a line that's working pretty well, depending on Vanaz to get to him there. Ooh, Vanaz gets a little loose up the turn there. Now he gets that run, giving him a little bump there.
And look at that. The number 1 Reeder was down on the low side and just pulled up. And he's slow. He just almost like my goodness, he was down on the yellow line and he pulled up to the middle and letting guys go by him. Maybe the car got a little loose and he had to catch it, but it's a bit scary there as he lost momentum. Just to follow up on those two drivers, Wolf and Granger, I think they've now given up any hopes. They're just back there putting in laps right now, waiting for a yellow.
Listen, Dawson Brock got a chance to kind of fade back and hook up with them. 3 cars are better than 2. That just might be what Dawson's doing. I see him falling pretty quickly here.
Yep.
They are closing on him now. So we'll have 2 different races going on, probably 2 different strategies. You don't want to get back out on track alone after a pit stop. You got to have a partner.
And I think maybe that's what Dawson is saying right now. He's a man without a country. He's not in the big pack ahead or the 2 behind him.
Yeah, if I can't hang with these guys out front, let me get back and let me let these 2 reel me in, and I'll work with them, and we'll hope for a little bit of good fortune. Yeah. But with the number of laps left and at the rate they're traveling, there's every possibility the field can get around and lap these guys.
Well, they're more than a half lap behind right now. They're down by 28 seconds, and lap times are about 52. So they have to be a little bit careful here.
Yes, they do. Reeder just all over the place there off the back of Vrosky. Gets up on the high side, right up in front of Jenks. Jenks giving him a push down through the tri-oval.
Jenks not very loyal as he moves to the outside. Going to leave that number 1 machine of Kenneth Reeder stuck in the middle. Is he going to get any help? Reeder in there saying, maybe Henderson, you'd like to come down in? No, Reeder finds a hole in front of the 88. Able to duck inside of Brad Walsh. And still watching the whole thing going on in front. Close enough to be in contention, but far enough back to stay out of trouble. The number 12 and the number 14 of Alan Westman and Mark Goldstein.
Boy, and they have been very, very patient, cool customers, haven't they?
I think they're just back there like Moses, waiting for the seas to part when the big one hits, and they'll just drive their way right through it. I didn't mean to do it, but I'm sure Mark Goldstein appreciated the Moses reference.
Vrosky, solid up front there right now. He's kind of fended off all advances at this point. Has been one of the few drivers that have been able to spend several laps on the lead. Been trading it back and forth so much this evening. It's been hard to nail that down for any one person, but Vrosky putting in some strong time right now.
Right on board with Baroom, looking out the back. Right behind him, that's the number 1 machine of Kenneth Reeder. Bobrovsky and Reeder veterans, so is Parrott, so is Henderson, the 4 cars up in front. In fact, actually, most of the drivers, even Brad Walsh has been around for a little while. Tom Jenks, the only real unknown here, and maybe also not so familiar with Mark Goldstein.
Oh, Henderson with a little tap there on Parrott. Now they're going to go 3 wide again. Thomas Finesse and Jenks hooked up there on the outside. Oh, freight train coming again. Parrott nowhere to go down there in the middle. Henderson hangs Finesse up there up top and drops down in front of Bobrovsky. Super real close to a window here where this is going to be a one-stopper. We got a 75-lap race. We're not far from that halfway point.
44 remaining, 32 in the books. And again, Henderson kind of up in front, then kind of moves to the high side. I've seen him do that before. It's almost like he's not happy out in front. If I didn't know better, I think he's calculating fuel right now and thinking if I can just stay in a draft here for another 6 laps, I might be able to one-stop this thing. Certainly, if anybody's going to have the fuel to go, if they can one-stop it, if fuel's an issue, it's going to be Westman and Goldstein back in the back. They've been doing nothing but lifting off the throttle the entire 33 laps we've been racing. Woo, drifting high as the 23 car. He's able to bring that down. That was Thomas Vanasse. Sean, you talked about it a little bit. Let's dig down on it a bit. The tires start to go away. I guess not that big of a deal though at Talladega. What about the fuel? Does that change the feel of the car? As it burns off?
Yeah, no, absolutely. As it starts to lighten up, definitely a combination of the hot tires, the slick track, and a lighter fuel load do free the car up just a bit. Will definitely make it handle differently in traffic. I have a tendency to want to push. Got to watch that. So far, everybody's been pretty smooth. There's been a couple of drivers who look like they're starting to fight it maybe just a little bit more, but everybody giving space. Oh, Parrott making a quick move back down to the inside. Jeez.
That car turned left quick, didn't it? Boy.
It sure did. Almost makes you wonder if that car started to push up the hill on him and he just fought it back down to the inside.
Here's a little bit of a run now. The 69, I can see this coming. The 69 got a push from the 23. That's Jenks and Vanasse going to the high side. They've been working on it from way back in the pack. Now Vanasse comes off of them a little bit. Look for this again. Here comes the 23, going to get right up behind. They want to go to the front. Might be a little bit of what our fellow commentator Joe Peaks like to call reconnaissance racing here, trying to figure out what can I do when we get down here to the end of the race. And right now, that 69 and the 23 hooked up nicely, and they pushed themselves from way back at the back, went to the high side, and got there pretty quick. Keep those two in mind, 69 and 23. I think both of those drivers saying, hey, that worked okay. Let's remember that when we get close to the end here. 35, they're going to be working 36 to go.
Oh, and hey, by the way, Sue, that Dawson Brock, Joshua Wolf, Tad Granger thing, well, that's a thing. All three of them have hooked up, and they're working. They're putting in the time.
Well, they're going to need a yellow now, because unless they're going to pick it up, they fall on 37 seconds back. And really wouldn't surprise me, Sean, if things are going to heat up with when you call boogie time. And oh, look at this! We have our first call: Dawson Brock, Joshua Wolf, and Granger all coming in. Yep, they had that worked out between them. The three of them all said, let's go. The bad news is, oh my goodness, the guy up in front, I saw Brock missed his pit box. That's not going to work well, because here comes his two partners, Wolf coming, Granger coming, and Dawson, wait for me! He's like the little brother they left behind.
Yeah, that's 6 difference. Oh, Soup, they're making a call. Here we go. The leaders are calling their pit now.
Out in front is Tom Jenks. Is he coming in? Watch the 69. He peels off. So does Vanasse. So does Vorosky. So does Reeder. Parrott, Anderson, Walsh, Cologne, Westman, Goldstein. They're all coming.
Boy, Jenks was on it hard, ran it all the way out to the yellow line, almost got into the grass.
Now here's where you have to be perfect. You cannot afford to even make a one tiny mistake. Oh, a bump! I think that was Parrott that got turned. Oh, there's the 88. Walsh got in trouble. Walsh missed his stall. Talked about not
Parrott.
making a mistake. Walsh couldn't find his stall.
Parrott couldn't find his either. He parked in Vanassa's stall.
Right.
Cologne going to be the first one off.
I think Reeder also mixed his spot. So we talked about those mistakes. Now we're going to watch the pit lane right now. We're going to look at Walsh. So there's the 88. He doesn't know where he's going, and there was a few other issues going on. Yeah. Reeder had trouble, the number 1 machine. And Parrott couldn't find it. So here's what's up. Right now, out in front, Jenks has taken we're going to call these guys who pitted there the big pack. Jenks is out in front. Cologne is also tucked back in behind. Henderson, Reeder is out there. Verbraugh's in the mix. Westman also in the mix. Trying to hang on is Vanasse.
Oh,
That's
Cologne.
how many cars did that call? There's 7.
Cologne's making a trip back into the pit.
Maybe he had a speeding penalty.
Very possible. I got to tell you, there's some debate
Walsh.
going on right now.
Brad Walsh also coming in. So it is now, which was a 10-car pack, is now a 6-car pack out in front, consisting of Bobrovsky, Reeder, Jenks, Westman, Vanasse, Henderson, and then trying to hang on. Mark Goldstein had a bad stop in the 14. Looks like he's out of the draft. Now, what about those other guys that were falling way behind? Well, of those guys, Granger and Wolf did their job. They're out together. But we talked about Dawson Brock missing his pit stall.
Yep.
He fell off.
Yeah, missed opportunity for him, unfortunately.
But what's interesting is Cologne is just coming out now. So I think Cologne might be able to team up here with Brock. Remember, Cologne had to take that second stop.
Yeah, Brad Walsh finally getting back out on track.
Now let's do the numbers right now. They went 33.4. They did not quite get to halfway, I don't think. Halfway is 37. They pitted on lap 38, so they made it. Okay. It's always good to have a voice in my ear. Where was that voice in my ear when I was in high school?
Yeah, I honestly think they probably had a couple more laps left in those cars. I think they were just all conveniently waiting for whoever made the call first. I don't think any of them wanted to come out alone. But unfortunately, what's happened now is because of a few mistakes, they got totally spread out, and that wasn't anybody's plan, I think, going in.
Brad Walsh is in again. So something going on with him.
Oh, there goes my pick. Hey, look who's making a run to the inside, looking for the lead. It's Alan Westman.
There he is. Took him half a lap, but now he feels a little bit better. See, he hung back in there, and now he's in a 5-car train. Look at this. Westman, Jenks, Vanasse, Bobrovsky, and Reeder have all pulled away. Back behind him is a 2-car battle, Henderson and Goldstein. That's probably the best news that could happen to Mark, is to come in there with Henderson. Although Henderson doesn't look to be really that competitive right now.
Oh, Jenks all over the place, right behind Westman.
Those 5
Those
cars.
two.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Westman and Jenks were doing a lot of work in the practice session leading up to the race. They were doing a lot of this right here, both of them on track together. Everybody else were doing pack runs, and these two were just nose to tail from several laps.
Look at Jenks. He's running like a quarter of the way off. Like he's coming out to get a little fresh, little cold air there on his grill to keep the car cool. Not running right behind Westman. Like a half a car width off. Honestly, those are two drivers of contrasting styles, at least in my book. Westman is as cool as a cucumber, and Jenks is Mr. Excitement.
They are about to put Dawson Brock another lap down. There he's it down on the inside. Here comes that train of cars. The leader's getting by. Cordell Cologne's going to be up next.
Whereas Bobrovsky goes underneath trying to help Dawson. This is interesting.
Trying to give him a little push, yeah.
I'm not sure if Dawson needs all of this. Really, I'm one lap down. Well, actually, yeah, I don't know if Dawson really needs to be in this mix right here. You talked about luck, Sean. I think what Dawson needs, the kind of luck he's looking for, is something related to a lucky dog, as he is right now, actually, he's behind Cordell Cologne, so I guess he does need a little help. Oh, Cologne, see, I see what's, okay, Cologne, look at the 50. This is my bad. The 50 is in the hunt here. That's an important position, this battle between the 50 and the 83. That's for the lucky dog. And honestly, if they really wanted to fight about it, they could do it the old-fashioned way and get out in front, so... Cologne. Oh, look at Cologne trying to work his way. I got places to go, people to see. And right now, what I'd like to do is be in front of this pack. Oh, Dawson Brock. Dawson Brock gets into it.
Yeah, it sends Vanasse down the track into...
And he comes up
Vanasse in the wall.
Still going straight. Will that bring out the yellow? Oh, we have him up front.
Westman's around. Dawson Brock.
So we have two. This second one is actually unrelated. What happened was Jenks got into the inside of Brock and then got into Westman on this big one. Watch Jenks in the 69 machine. He comes down, turns Brock, puts him up into Westman. Those guys go up into the wall. And Jenks is going to come out the best out of all of that. Westman spins off. We're going to ride on board with Jenks. See what Tom, look at his view of it. Well, this is going to be good. Nice camera, director. See him, he's going to come down. There's the 83 of Dawson Brock on the inside. Comes down, catches him, just turns him.
Boy, I'll tell you, Soup, that whole incident started with the contact between Dawson Brock and Thomas Vanasse, number 23, and Vanasse goes down into the asphalt area on the inside, and honestly, it looked like he had the car slowed down, and then all of a sudden, just came back up the track right into the wall.
Right, that's the one I was watching as Vanasse trying to save that. I was really surprised, Sean, that he couldn't get that thing turned back left.
That car was slowed down. I don't understand why it came back up and straight into the wall like he didn't turn. I'm not going to start any conspiracy theories, but that, it brings out a caution flag. It probably should have resulted in one, but I don't know. It just seemed like that could have been avoided.
Honestly, I don't think the caution came out from him, though, because even when he did collect the wall, he was still pointing straight and moving at a relatively good clip.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I think the yellow came out from the big one later.
Yeah.
So let's see here. We have everyone coming in now. A few have not. Westman has stayed out. Well, let's see. Looking to see who's come in.
Yeah, I am seeing Vanasse was given an EOL penalty, so I wonder. I don't wonder. I don't know what that had to do with.
So now Henderson is having a hard time. I guess he finally found his stall. I guess it really doesn't matter as everybody's under yellow right now. Henderson's been having a strange day.
Well, we're going to have a lot of damaged race cars out there now trying to finish this race, Suit.
What we'll do is we'll take a short break. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel. We'll catch our breath, take care of a little business off mic, and then we'll come back before they go green. Don't go far away. We'll be back in a few. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the We Stand United Cup Series. We are race number 7 in the 10-race chase, working lap number 49 right now. It'll be 50 when we go to green because the lights are off the pace car. Out in front is Trevor Borowski. On the outside of him in the 14 machine, Mark Goldstein. Sean, we have 8 cars on the lead lap, but not many of them are still pristine.
No, we were doing a little survey there during the break to see which cars didn't have any damage on them. There aren't a lot of clean ones left. Joshua Wolf, one of those cars, still looking pretty straight. But then I had to take a second look. The car's a little bit shorter. Rear end a little crushed in on that car right now. So guys out there fighting a little bit of damage. Going to get this one started now.
Tad Granger up there in the mix. He's the first car 1 lap down. Pace car pulls away. We've gone 2/3 of the way as we were working now. Lap 50 of a 75-lap race. Little bumping and banging going on. Jenks got a little bit of a bad start there.
Travis Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson. We're not sure where Henderson was going.
Well, I don't know if it was because Jenks got started bad or what, but he got quite a run. Whoa. Ted Granger dropped right down in front of Travis Henderson. He was trying to get back up.
Remember, Henderson was on the lead lap, and Jenks was a lap down, so not sure what's going on. Now we hear a little Dawson Brock coming over the mic doing a little bit of talking. We'll let that all go away. We'll just take it fresh here. Set the stage. And listen, there's a little bit of argument going on here. One of them is Dawson and Vanasse going at each other. Honestly, they need to save that till after the race. Out in front, your leader is Trevor Borowski in the 10 machine. Josh Wolf behind him. There's a couple drivers in the chase, comfortably on their way to that grand finale at Homestead. Running in third, Nick Parrott. Remember, Parrott is 11 points behind Dawson Brock. Parrott needs every point he can get to try to get past that cutoff line. On the outside, that's the 8 machine. He's a lap down. Tad the Lone Granger. Then it's the 50 of Cordell Colon. He was more than, I think he was a lap down. Remember when he was in there with Dawson Brock? He's got that back and now in the hunt. Then my driver, Mark Goldstein, having a nice race, running in the top 5, sitting there in 14th position. And after that, it's a long way back to the next guys, Reeder and Walsh. Walsh is a lap down. Reeder has fallen off the pace.
Yeah, and the right front damage he suffered on that car not helping his cause. Brad Walsh getting up around the outside on Ken Reeder as they head across the line down into 1. Walsh drops back in line and they're going to run back up to the center of the track. Yeah, Reeder's totally lost pace now at this point, Sue.
Yeah, Walsh needs to get onto the back of, Reeder needs to get on the back of Walsh. Walsh is a lap down. Walsh, of course, trying to get up there and maybe get that lucky dog if he can get up there with Granger, or if he's lucky enough to have Granger get to the front of the pack and get his left back the old-fashioned way. So basically now, we started with 14. We lost Derek Prater early. Then some attrition took some people out. It's really a 5-car battle now for the win. In a 6-car pack that includes Tad the Lone Granger. The guy disappointed not to be there is Alan Westman. He played his cards right just the way he wanted, but then got caught up in that little skirmish. Car has damage. He's back there running with Travis Henderson right now. Those guys are running 7th and 8th. Last 2 cars on the lead lap.
It's making me very uncomfortable. I'm getting back to that uncomfortable stage here again. The number 14 of Mark Goldstein is up top.
Oh, there's some contact.
Wow, Granger leads.
Really?
Boy.
And more
contact.
Goldstein is really a tight middle line there. Coming way down tight on these guys.
Well, he didn't get any help from Tad Granger. Granger, who was right in front of him, leaves him hanging up to dry there on the high side, takes the air off the nose of the car, practically sends him around, makes contact with Borowski, hangs onto it. Now he is dropped back in line, trying to hang on to the draft. Damage on that car on the left side and the right side. He's hanging on. He's got the draft. I think he's going to be okay, Sue.
got a great definition of that, description of that, Sean, as Granger did leave him out to dry, and then I think Goldstein was trying to find his way down into the inside, and there was no hole to be had there. He's right back in there now.
My dad always told me racers got to have a good memory, man.
Well, here's something that's important, and this is big news, not only for Tad Granger, but also for Brad Walsh. Granger's got his lap back, so he is now on the lead lap, be it an entire 99% of a lap behind, but still on the lead lap. So that means if there were an incident right now, Brad Walsh would be in position for the lucky dog.
Goldstein having more trouble back here, Sue.
All three of us, our director, and I think my partner Sean Ambrose and myself, all kind of whispered Goldstein. Goldstein is really, I'm not sure, boy, he is really tight on the inside.
Well,
is he side drafting?
He's trying to side draft, Sue. But I got to be honest with you, he's not doing it with any care. I got to be honest. It's tough. It's rough.
It's working.
It's working. Yes, it is. And I haven't talked about that because we haven't seen anybody try it. He almost makes contact. He came over for Roski. Jeez.
I have never seen a ruder drive to the lead than that. He basically elbowed the other three cars out of the way. And now he's hooked up on the back of Granger.
This was a guy that the whole first half of the race was just hanging back there with Alan Westman. Remember, Sue? We weren't even talking about him.
Oh.
Now he's the bull in the china shop.
Oh, my goodness. Dr. Jekyll has drank the potion because it's Mr. Hyde in that 14 car now. He's on a roll out in front trying to tuck in behind the number 8 machine of Granger. And he's going to lead him across the line. No, Bobrovsky ducking to the inside. And Goldstein's going to get credit for leading the lap. I don't really know if you want to be on the inside of Granger. On the inside of Goldstein. My goodness, he bumps him again. Oh. Travis Borowski says, I will quote him, "You have a pretty paint scheme, but I'd like you to keep it on your car." Those words coming from the number 10 machine to Goldstein. They're coming back to I'll race you hard too. I didn't know there was any issue going on between these guys.
This is why I try to keep the volume low on the race itself, so I can't hear what these guys are saying sometimes. But there's some challenges being thrown out there.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here because while I'm not really crazy with the way Goldstein is doing it, it is impressive. I saw him power his way on the middle line all the way past these guys, and now he tucks back in behind. That's worth the price of admission right there. Now here comes the 15 car on the outside. He's going to actually kind of pin Goldstein down. There's not going to be any room for Goldstein to get to the middle. I'd like to say that Goldstein did it on the high side, but that really wouldn't be an accurate description.
No, he did it in the same lane on the low line.
Now, let's see if the number 15 has been taking notes. Wolf's going to try to do it the more traditional way, getting a little help from Cologne. Now the 14 tucks back in, looking to get around. We are working lap number 59. Sean, I'm not sure when it is that time on a big track. Is it?
Well, We've passed it. That's okay.
We passed it.
Yeah, we've been boogieing and partying here all night. Now let's we've long passed that.
Cologne with a little bump into the back of Wolf.
Yeah, and he almost loses it. Saves the car.
Now Cologne drops down to the yellow line, and that's going to be good for Goldstein because Goldstein was beginning to fall off the pace. Remember, Cologne is on the same lap with these guys. The only one that doesn't belong, if you want to play Sesame Street, 5 of these things belong together. One of them is not the same. That's Tad Granger. I apologize. He is not a lap down. He is on the same lap. but not battling for position with these guys.
He's all the way at the end of it.
But if the way things are going, if a yellow were to come out, he'd get that 99% of a lap back and be right there with them.
Yeah, he may get that chance before it's all said and done. Now, our friend Mark Goldstein sitting back there being a good patient right now, and now it's time to turn up the wick. Here he goes.
Well, let him try to do it again. Here he comes.
Well, there is speed. There is speed in the side draft. Make no mistake. Oh, boy. Oh, Cologne tries to break his... Cologne stepped up, broke his rhythm.
Oh. And you cannot tell me that Cologne wasn't back there watching what he saw a few laps ago saying, no, not this time.
Well, I think Cologne's trying to protect his buddies there, the guys that have been around for a while.
Well, it's too late now because the 14 has got a nose inside. Now he drops back a little bit. There is speed to be found doing that, but I'm not sure if there's a lot of friends to be found there.
No, sir.
Oh, boy, now he gets into the back. Goldstein again almost gets into the back with Wolf.
Well, he's either awful good or awful lucky, so one or the other. We are certainly finding out a little bit about him this evening. He is a hard racer.
Well, I hope Wolf and Cologne and Parrott and Vavrovsky all like Royal Crown because they're getting a taste of it right now when that 14 machine makes his way through. Now Wolf going to the high side, putting Goldstein. I can't believe that Goldstein has become the most important part of this race right now. Oh, my goodness. Now, here comes Wolf, too wide. That's going to put Goldstein in trouble back there. There's no room to do what he likes to do. Wolf protecting alongside of Cologne. Granger still out in front. Remember, he's not battling for the win. And Sean, I guess that's probably a good thing if you want to put yourself in the position of Trevor Vavrovsky, because really, Vavrovsky has a drafting partner while still going for the win.
That's protection for him up there.
Yeah.
It really is. It's protection from anybody getting a run on him. He's got Granger up there to kind of buffer that. So that's really a good deal for our leader right now. It's going to make it awful hard for Parrott and Cologne, Wolf, or Mark Goldstein to get around.
Because Parrott's got to make the move from really third position, third in line, and he doesn't have any help because when he pulls out, Vavrovsky still has the help from Granger in front. And Parrott now figuring out how to do. Well, let me tell you, Nick, I've seen how to do this, and what you got to do is basically drive through Vavrovsky's car, a la Goldstein. Here comes Goldstein now on the outside. He's going to try this again as he gets his nose. See if he can get his nose up. Nah, it's not quite working this time. He gets into the back of Wolf. 5 cars battling for the win. The 10, the 3, the 50, the 15, and the 14. The number 8 out there just being a new wrinkle.
Being help to our leader for sure.
Now I think Parrott's trying to see if he can maybe ease that car inside him in the yellow line. Parrott in the number 3 machine trying to figure out a plan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 12 laps to go. I'm hugging that yellow line. I'm keeping that car down on the bottom of the track. Beat me up top. Beat me if you can do it.
Well, now the 14 has made a move. He's trying it again. He's going to the outside. A little bit more space this time. Now he comes down. He squeezes into the 15. And look what he's able to do. He's able to hold. Watch that 14. He's able to hold the speed. And he's gained. And now he gets up on the back of Cologne. I can't knock the guy. It's working. He's just got around Wolf. Now he's up on Cologne. He's doing it again. Now next on the hunt to see if he can power his way past the Sundrop machine. Oh, he gets a little bit wide that time.
Yep. And I don't know if these guys are going to let him do it again. Now for Frosky and Parrott, they've been following for a long time there. Got to get some air in those radiators. Got to be getting hot right about now. Cologne stepping out there for a little bit of air. That's not for position. That's for air. Cool it off. Cool it off.
Ten to go.
Yep, now he's going to dip back in.
10 to go on the number 10 machine out in front of Vorosky. Now this is where I make my plea to the other drivers that are not in this lead battle. Oh my goodness. As Goldstein gives Wolf a little bit of a bump. Wolf now to the outside. Goldstein trying to maybe find room down the middle. I'm not quite sure. Not really sure what Mark is going to do. I have to keep an eye on him. Here comes Henderson. They're going to go around him. Oh, look at this. The 15's going to get stuck in here. Goldstein's going to push the 15 up high into Henderson. Wolf had to back out of that one because there was no room to race. And now the 15 got to be careful. He doesn't lose touch. I make my plea to the drivers that are not in the lead battle. Let's keep it on the track, boys. Don't need a yellow from you right now.
All right, so there he is up top again, the 14 of Mark Goldstein. Trying to find a run. He's going to bring it back down inside. Has to step in line. Couldn't get a run.
I think somebody needs to give Goldstein a little help. Here comes Cologne with a great run. Now he's on the outside of the leader. He gets past Vorosky. Now he's up on the outside of the lap car of Granger. A new leader is Cologne. He backed out. He cooled his engine. He must have picked up some RPMs because now he's a flying. Your new leader is Cologne. Cordell Cologne out in front. Vorosky tries to tuck back in beside. That's going to leave the door open on the inside for Parrott. Parrott says, I like this spot. I've been trying to get to this spot the whole time. He gets in there now. Vorosky gets a little bit of nudge from the 14, Sean. We got some racing going on now.
Yes, we do. And Cologne still hanging it up top. Oh, Granger took a look at going up top there and it settles back in.
All right, now here comes Goldstein. Cologne didn't get any help, and he wasn't able to close the door. He wasn't able to get down inside of Vorosky. What he needs is Goldstein to get up behind him and see if Goldstein and Cologne can work their way around the lap car of Granger. And I think somebody who agrees with that attitude, that plan, is Wolf, the 15. Wolf gives Goldstein a bump. He says, let's go, my friend. The 14 and the 15 trying to make the run up. Now Cologne dips underneath. And now here's Granger. All of a sudden decided to go to the outside.
Wow!
Elbowing his way through is Goldstein. Excuse me, I'm coming through.
He just did that.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. I don't think
Quick
Cordell
replay is
Cologne's
coming up.
I don't think Cordell Cologne's going to be a big fan of that.
Oh, my.
Wow. All right, Cordell's still got a chance here, though. He hasn't lost the draft yet. Gonna have to get busy. Start pedaling, buddy.
Honestly, to be honest, I'm not quite sure if this is good racing etiquette for Granger to be doing what he is doing right now. He's basically controlling this race as a lap car, and I'm not sure how cool that is either. But let me say, I don't know how cool it is. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. Your new leader, Joshua Wolf, remember just a little bit back, he was back there battling with Goldstein? Well, now it's Wolf and Goldstein. Now also Parrott on the high side is Vorosky, who was leading so long, Sean, has dropped back into fourth. And we get to the match.
Seeing him back here.
We get to the magic number. As they come across here, there'll be 5 to go. Now I put my Catholic school raised hands together, pointed to the sky and say, boys, drivers in the back, let's keep it clean. No yellow now. Let's finish this thing under green. Parrott trying to move Goldstein out of the way. Goldstein now on the high side. I would usually say that's a problem, but the 14 car doesn't seem to mind it up there. But he's going to tuck back in behind Parrott. He just dumps it down in front of Vorosky. And look who's back in the mix. The 50 was able to hang on. Cordell Cologne.
Good job by Cordell there, not losing the draft.
Once again, Granger now takes the high side. Oh, look at it, Goldstein. Boy, again with Cologne.
Well, Cordell made a move right down in front of Vorosky to try and get down in front of Goldstein there. And Goldstein shut the door on him.
But now our lapped car is up in front of the number 3, the Sundrop machine of Parrott. Now he's on the high side. Now it's Vorosky. No, it's Wolf on the inside with Goldstein. They're in a pretty good spot right now. Wolf and Goldstein, if they can hold that position, Wolf and Granger get together. Goldstein on the low side with 4. They're working with 4 to go here. Goldstein trying to work his way, find these. If he can't find room, Goldstein's not scared to make room right now. Gives a little bump to Wolf. Remember, the 8 car is not in the battle for the lead. Granger very tight. Goldstein gets up to him. They make contact. Granger really, really tight, squeezing Goldstein down. Now there's a little more room. Wolf out in front. Goldstein pushing, trying to clear that 8 car altogether. Parrott now says, okay, Tad, let's go. The 3 gets up. Goldstein comes up and gives Granger a tap. More paint. Goldstein now looking, I guess, trying to follow Granger, which was kind of what Parrott had in mind, but yeah, I think the 14 was trying to keep the 3 off of the 8.
Well, he's got nowhere to go now. He's stuck down on the inside. Oh, Parrott right up on Tad Granger. Wolf got to hang on down there on the inside.
Okay, Parrott gives Granger a nice run. Now Granger can choose his spot. He can work both sides of the street like a jaywalking mailman. Granger keeps it up high. Diving down to the inside now is Nick Parrott, your new leader. Nick Parrott out in front with 2 to go. Granger on the high side. Cologne trying to get something to work up there. Remember, Granger's not in the mix. Parrott loses momentum. Now Cologne is your leader. Granger drops down to hug the inside like a tight-fitting pair of Fruit of the Looms. Granger up on top. On the high side, Cologne up on top. Granger doesn't matter. They come across. There's going to be 1 to go this time by. Ignore the 8 machine. It doesn't count. Right now, the battle for the lead is between the number 3 and the number 50. That's Parrott on the inside. Cologne on the outside. Cologne getting a little help from Bobrovsky. That's the 15 of Wolf involved. Dropping out of the mix is Mark Goldstein. He's no longer a factor. Now it's 4 cars with Granger. Parrott on the inside, staying on the yellow line right behind the lone Granger, that 8 machine out in front. Parrott's not going to give up that position. This is the lap slap. The 15 car of Wolf looking for somewhere to go. The number 3 machine keeps it down low. Parrott right in there. Cologne maybe saying, let's go, Wolf. Up to the outside, Wolf will do it. Cologne saying, let's go. Parrott now moves to the high side to block Wolf. He's got the pick. He has the pick of Granger in front of him. There's nowhere to go. Parrott has played this perfectly like a chess master. Bobby Fischer's going to win this race. Here comes Cologne on the inside, and it's going to be Parrott.
Wow. Just barely.
And now they crash.
What a finish suit.
Cologne almost got there anyway, pushing Granger along. A small field, but big excitement. 75 laps. 1 yellow flag, maybe 2 if I've checked my notes. I guess there were 2. Woo! This is the We Stand United Cup Series. Round number 7 in the chase. Brought to you by the Global Sim Racing Channel. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back to run down the entire field, driver interviews, and close-up shot. Back in just a few. This is Global Sim Racing Channel's post-race coverage of the We Stand United Cup Series, round 7 in the 10-round chase from Talladega. We just finished up a 75-lap, 199-mile event. Your winner was Nick Parrott. Second place, Cordell Colon. Rounding out the podium, Joshua Wolf. Top 5 is going to be finished up by Trevor Varun-Varosky and Mr. Excitement, Mark Goldstein. He was exciting. I don't know how many friends he made, though. Kenneth Reeder is going to finish on the lead lap in 6th. 7th place goes to Alan Westman. Things just didn't quite work out for him. Tad Granger finishes on the lead lap, but the entire lead lap all the way around. Brad Walsh 1 lap down in 9th position, and Travis Henderson 1 lap down in 10th. Sean, wrap up the rest of them.
All right, and I will, and that's going to be in 11th place. Dawson Never Say Die Brock, 2 laps down 11th. Tom Jake's going to finish 12th, 26 laps down. Thomas Fanassi, he's going to be 13th tonight. And Derek Prater, unfortunately, had some connection issues and got bounced early. Going to finish 14th. Quite a race, Soup.
And just to follow up on a little bit what use implications this has here, remember Dawson Brock had an 11-point lead on Nick Parrott for that cutoff line. Well, Parrott wins. Brock finishes 11th. I think with the bonus points for leading laps that Parrott's going to pick up and winning the race, I think he's going to be inside the Mendoza line in the chase. Dawson's going to have to do a little work. Okay, let's going to talk to one of our podium finishers here. Let's go ahead and bring down, if I can, Joshua Wolf. And I hope I've done that. No, I brought down Tad Granger Benson. All right, let's... Okay, we got Wolf.
Yes,
all
I'm
right.
here.
Now we got... All right. Joshua, oh my goodness. A small field, but big excitement tonight.
Yeah, definitely a lot of excitement. I definitely had quite the saves. I had a couple of them, and a little more excitement than I wanted to have for this race.
First of all, you got to thank the track designers at Talladega for giving you so much pavement to work with there in that first one. I think you were halfway to Mississippi by the time you got that car turned around.
Yeah, I was kind of scared, and I actually looked at it after the race and ended up seeing that it was a netcode issue, and I'm surprised I didn't wreck the whole field with how far sideways I was at first. And then, yeah, I'm definitely glad it wasn't grass down there because it allowed me to gather it up and keep going.
Well, let's get to the end of the race. There were some new names that had some interesting racecraft that it seemed to be effective, but I'm not sure how well appreciated it was by some of the drivers.
No, we at one point tried to line up and just go when he dropped off. I got scared at one point. I did not like how close he was. I thought we were going to wreck and ended up backing off. And yeah, it was definitely not something I wanted to see, especially at that point. I could see with like 2 or 3 to go, but at that point it was kind of something I didn't really enjoy. So, but it was, we survived and
we survived.
Yep.
Well, let's go to the end now. One of the things that was interesting is the mix of having Granger up there, which kind of really threw an extra wrinkle into the strategy. Did you have to keep that in mind when you had the car a lap down that was in front of you?
Yeah, a little bit. For me, he was a teammate, so it was kind of nice having him up there. I kind of wanted to not have him get to the front because Trevor was actually looking at being a little light on fuel, and I wanted Trevor leading to try and force him to run out. But Tad got up there and just kind of set the pace and let us run. And yeah, it was kind of interesting. And Nick and Tad kind of had several years ago had it reversed and is kind of payback. So kind of cool to see Nick run up there and get the win, being a teammate. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, I think when you watch the replay, you'll appreciate the good driving that everybody put on because there was a lot of hard fighting you guys made it exciting for 75 laps and you kept it pretty darn clean for most of the way.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. And just for me, it was kind of boring at the first part after I got that little spin. So just riding around and we got the caution that brought us back up there. So it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, congratulations, Joshua, on the 3rd place today. Good luck the rest of the way and then at Homestead for the big one.
Thank you.
All right. Joshua Wolf, 3rd place today. He increases his lock into the chase with a nice finish today. Sean, who you want to talk to?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd really like to talk to Tad Granger. Tad, have you got us? I wanted to catch up and talk to you about what you had going on up front there. Quite a position to be in.
Yeah, I wish it was me leading, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, you provided quite a bit of help there to your teammate. That was I like that strategy. You were kind of a buffer, if you will, there, a little bit of protection.
Yeah. When I'm not in the points, it kind of sucks. But, when it comes to it, school and everything comes first. And when we got down to it, Josh kind of, I looked at it. I don't know how the hell he pulled that off. But what a save by him. And I felt like I didn't know if I maybe checked him up or something. So I decided to go back there and try to hang on to the lead lap. And we did. So, but then we had a technical issue that apparently put us a lap down, which I didn't know. So I was pretty upset about that. And I said, all right, we'll just race our way back on lead lap. But caution didn't fly. But, I'm so happy Nick finally won this race. I'm happy as hell. So now hopefully one of these guys for Grange Racing pull off this championship too. So.
Well, and you talk about that championship and the team. That's something pretty special you guys would like to hoist at the end of the season?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't had the opportunity to do so in a lot of seconds, but, it's happy to see the guys that have. Joshua Wolf got it last year. Zach Gaudette's got it. And just the guys that have had it, Jeff Ramsdale's got it, are just talented people. They deserve it 100%. And to see the guys that are running for it this year, I'm happy they run at WSU. 14 cars started race. I don't care. That was a hell of a race. I had fun. It's a blast, but I can't wait to see who pulls this off at the end.
Well, I had fun too, and can't thank you enough for my friend.
There we go. I think we got Sean back there. We lost you for a little bit there. You back? Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in Dawson Brock if we can. There we go. Talk to Dawson. He finished 11th. The reason for bringing Dawson in, do you think, why are we talking to a guy who finished 11th? Well, Dawson's in the hunt for the chase here, and I got double bad news for you, Dawson. You finished down the way, and then the guy who's right behind you won the dang thing, so you're in trouble now.
Yeah, we got some work to do, so I guess we'll have to really put in the hours this week to get ready for Martinsville.
So what got you out of the mix there? We saw you fall back, and it looked like you were running up front, then you fell back. Looked like you're going to get back in there with those guys who were racing in the back. Then I guess you had a bad pit stop.
Yeah, so pretty much something happened with me and Cordell. Didn't really take a good look at what happened there, but I got into the wall, and I had enough damage where I couldn't keep up. I don't know how the heck he was still able to keep going, but I got the bad part of it, I guess. And then I was debating on whether I should just stay on that lead lap or if I should drop back. And I realized, well, if I keep going like this, I'm going to run out of fuel. So I went into the pits hoping to work with Ted and Josh, overslid my pit stall, put it in reverse, slid it back in. Oh, now you're too far left. It was just overall just really, really bad. And then we got back out. We were behind them, so we dropped back in with the other group. And, of course, caution came out there, and it looked like Netcode was the first one, but I don't know what happened between me and Tom there. I didn't really get a good explanation on that. But just overall, a really bad weekend.
Well, you had a couple good you can't be successful every race, so this one's going to make you earn that spot in the chase, and we're going to keep watching you and Nick. It's going to be real close when they tabulate the points.
Yeah, I think I know right now I'm 3 out. They updated the points. But I guess, I went into this race knowing that I had 11 insurance points, and, well, I get to use them up. So
there you go.
Now we got to go battle.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the way. We'll keep an eye on you. Good luck to you, and then, of course, Nick Parrott as well. Good luck. Talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
Dawson Brock, your 11th place finisher today, trying to find his way into the chase. Who are we talking to now? Are we done?
Yeah, I caught up with Trevor Vorovsky real quick. Buddy, I'll tell you what, that was quite a race up there in that pack.
Oh yeah, it was a blast. I did my best to try and keep things exciting and try and stay up front as long as I could. Couldn't quite pull it off at the end, but it was definitely a very fun race.
You got any circulation back in your fingers yet?
Oh yeah, no, I was pretty relaxed for the most part. Little nerve wracking at a couple moments, but no, it was pretty calm for the most part.
Yeah,
I know you guys. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, what were you going to say there?
Well, I was going to say, I know you guys are talking up my paint scheme there, and it sounds like the 14 really was liking it too, and he kept trying to take it whenever he got the chance to.
And that's exactly what I was going to bring up. It looks like Mr. Goldstein was really trying to gain advantage on the side draft.
Yeah, I throughout my practice, I didn't exactly notice contact and hurting your race car gaining an advantage. I mean, it did hurt me. I did not have the car to have the pace at the end. I feel real bad about that. Teammate Cordell probably could have won that race had I not had the damage from all that contact. But, is what it is. I mean, I'll be here next week, and we'll see where he's at when it's not just full throttle and left turns.
Yeah, well, next week will certainly be a much different race as we kind of downsize it just a bit. We go from the condo basically to the box. So
I say, if he wants to trade paint there too, I'm all for it.
All right, Trevor. Well, hey, thanks for putting on a great show for us tonight. We thank you, and we thank the WSU. We'll see you next week at Martinsville, buddy.
Yep, can't wait.
All right, Sue. I think that about wraps it up with our driver interviews.
Trevor,
again, what a big one tonight.
Trevor Varun-Borowski, if he ever loses his job, he probably can find work in the diplomatic arena, as he was able to couch those comments nicely. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. And boy, it is fun. It is so fun to broadcast these things. We'd like to thank everybody at We Stand United for organizing this series and contacting with GSRC to broadcast it. We know you have lots of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen now that we use on our broadcast. And now it would be Sean's time to go.
No, I'm sorry, Sue.
The original music that you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Laurent. And what Sean was going to tell you is so you can see the screen for how to contact each of them. And then Sean was also going to tell you that.
No, Sean's here.
Oh,
no,
okay,
I'm
all
here.
right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I am here. You just kept going, and I didn't want to break your role there. But, hey, listen, GSRC will be back to bring you the Napa Auto Parts 150 at Martinsville Speedway next Sunday on October 30th. Yes, that you might be out trick-or-treating, but as soon as you get inside, tune us in, and you want more info about joining the WSU for next season, contact those guys over at WSU Motorsports 2012 at gmail.com.
Go ahead, take the next one too, so GSRC pays.
All right, and so for details of all upcoming events on the Global Sim Racing Channel, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at /Global Sim Racing Channel.
We get paid by the word, so I didn't want to take anything that didn't belong to me. Now, finally, on behalf of my mic mates, Sean Ambrose, our director, Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. And with that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, let's hope each day finds you in a state of yo.